Welcome everybody to the Blaze podcast. I am your host, Brandon, and I'm joined with my other co-host, Jed.
Hello, everyone.
And today we don't have our other host, Adrian. For a little bit, he's gonna be in the back. He's working a lot now, so he doesn't really have time to do the podcast that much. But we are gonna try to get some different people in here. Maybe switch in and out, like how last week we did have Tiernan in here. But this week we have our friend Robert. Robert, say what's up.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Alright, so let's get right into it. Last time on the podcast we had to report Stan Lee's death. And this week we have to report the creator of SpongeBob, Steven
Hillenburg.
Hillenburg.
I think it's Hillenburg, right? How do you pronounce his name? I think it's Hillenburg.
like the fucking Hillenburg.
It almost reminds me of Steven Spielberg. I don't know why. I just see the Berg and I'm just like, fuck.
Right. Maybe they were related. Yeah, he died. How old was he? Like 50?
He was 50. If I remember 57? Correctly, I think he was 57.
57.
He's still pretty young, for sure.
Yeah, really young. He started as a marine biologist. Was really into animation. He went to college. I forgot the California Institute of Arts, which, if nobody really knows what that is, that's like the big college where like animators go. A lot of Pixar animators come from that college.
Yeah.
There's the I think it's 145 is like in every Pixar movie. And that's supposed to be like represent a classroom.
A113, I mean.
Yeah, A113, which like is a classroom within the university. So we kind of did this for Stan Lee, so I'd like to ask everybody, like, obviously Steven's shows like really put an impact on us, like SpongeBob. So what was everybody's like favorite SpongeBob episode, or even like if you had like merchandise, like your favorite merchandise?
I personally God, what was my favorite SpongeBob episode? Actually, no, fuck that. Fucking episode. The movie, dude. SpongeBob movie?
I'm a goofy goober.
Yeah. That movie's legendary. I don't care what he says.
That movie is legendary. Did you watch the second one?
What was the second one?
The live action one?
No, I never got to watch that one. Sadly.
I watched that in theaters with my ex.
Yeah?
It wasn't that bad, actually.
It wasn't?
Like, the trailer made it seem like it was CGI, like live action the whole time, but it was really like, for like 10% of the movie, it was live action.
Yeah, I got you.
I didn't really spoil too much.
Yeah, no, I used to watch a lot of SpongeBob growing up. I mean, it was a great show. I think rewatching some of the episodes, like a lot of it's still funny, and there's a lot of like low key sexual innuendo. Yeah, like humor in there that like you wouldn't understand as a kid, but when you grow up, you're like, oh, that's what that means.
But all 90s cartoons, like if you watch some of the old 90s stuff back, you see it like in Hey Arnold and Rocco and all that stuff. It's hilarious.
Why do you think they did it so much?
No, that's because like I actually
even
a lot of the cartoonists in interviews. A lot of cartoonists in interviews, like people will ask them like, why did you make this kid cartoon? And they'll usually answer like, I didn't make a kid cartoon. I made a cartoon that like I can watch and the kids can watch. So that's why like adult humor is sprinkled in like a lot of cartoons. Even like cartoons right now, you can like usually catch like adult humor. It's because like these people aren't making it specifically for children, but it just so happens that like children can watch this.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That's pretty cool though, because like children when they grow up, they'll look back at it and be like, oh, I understand that now. It's so weird. Like our minds were so innocent back then, but like now we're like, holy shit, it's so full of sexual innuendos and stuff.
We all have dirty minds. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And like the crazy thing is that like my nephew, who's like 3 years old, is like a SpongeBob fan. Like he knows SpongeBob. He watches SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And like I feel like my kids are gonna watch SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Like it's such a time. Like the old episodes are like so timeless.
Yeah, it's like our our generation growing up watching Tom and Jerry. Like I think Tom and Jerry is an example of time. Like any Looney Tunes are just timeless. Like they're great to watch in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even the movie. Did you watch the Looney Tune Back in Action movie?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I liked it. That was pretty good. Did you?
That was good. Yeah,
I liked most of the
of
any of the Looney Tune movies, like the one with oh my god, what was it called?
Well, if you like the old Looney Tune movies, you're ready for Space Jam 2 when it comes out next year, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'll be down to watch that for sure.
Happening?
Yes, it's LeBron James is going to be in Space Jam 2.
LeBron James.
Yes, it's confirmed. It's happening.
Oh god, dude.
All right, but
it's convenient. He's in LA, so
we're missing out on something super important.
Yeah, what is it?
SpongeBob video games. All right. I don't know if you guys ever got to play Creature from the Krusty Krab. Probably now that game probably is like terrible, but as a kid, that game was my shit. Like that was a fun game.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never played a SpongeBob game in my life. Don't at me.
I've played Flash games, but not a console game.
No, I've never played a console.
You guys need to change that. Did you play any of the Nicktoon games?
I played the racing one from back in the day.
Flash games on like sites like Miniclip and stuff like that.
Okay,
yes, but no.
They had like they tried to do a party game like Mario Party for Nicktoons. And it like failed really bad. They did like a Nicktoons racing, a Nicktoons basketball game. There's an arcade like racing game, but my favorite one that I remember playing, what was it? Okay, this one was called SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, and Pants, and it was like a mini game basically. Yeah. And the only reason why I have such a fond memory of this is because this is the video game that like I learned that Santa Claus wasn't real, because I didn't have a PS2, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember one day I was in my parents' closet grabbing something, and I found this game, right? Mm-hmm. So I went down to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, what is this? Like, I don't have a PS2, so this isn't me. She's like, oh, it's for our cousin. Tell me how that Christmas I got a PS2 and that game.
God. You found the stash. Good job.
After that, every Christmas I went to that stash. I knew exactly where they put it.
That reminds me of when I was young and I found this old marble game. I couldn't tell you what it's called now. And my grandmother, because I was living with my grandparents at the time, told me it was to be donated. And then on Christmas Day, I opened that gift. The first thing I said to her was, you told me this game was getting donated. And she came back, yeah, donated to you.
Dude, my fucking parents would pull the donation like card a lot too. Like I would find like the gifts or some shit. Like I remember one time I found the gifts in the basement when I was a kid. And I was like, Mom, what are all these like toys? And she's like, oh, that's we're giving it to donate to the poor down the street. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, me being a kid, I just thought nothing of it. But it's just so funny how like parents would try to hide it. And what do you guys remember when, like, I know Brandon, you just said your story, but Robert, when did you realize Santa Claus wasn't real?
I think I don't know if I didn't realize he was real or not, or if I just stopped believing in it. You know, I really couldn't tell you.
You never
probably around 9 or 10.
Got you. I was gonna say, like, you never found any of your gifts. Well, you did, right?
I found my gifts. Yeah, I found my gifts when I was like 6. But
but you still believed them.
I don't know if I really believed, but I kind of thought maybe. I don't know. Gotcha. I thought it's kind of hard to believe that some big fat guy's going to be able to get through every house in the freaking planet in less than a millisecond and drop a bunch of toys. I always thought he needed a little bit of help. So.
Dude, the funniest thing is going on the internet. I don't know if your parents that they're a kid, they would go on the internet and like look up
the tracker.
Yeah, the tracker.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like looking back at it, I'm like, why did I believe this?
Well, you have to.
We used to do that
so crappy.
What you have to realize is that I'm like 10 years older than you guys.
No, I know you.
And when I was like 10 years old, the internet was just becoming a thing. Dial-up was it, and there was no such thing as Google. So
yeah, RIP.
Wow. R.I.P.
But we late 90s, early 2000s, the fucking or even mid early 2000s, like Santa Claus tracker, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, no rad one yet.
We used to do that for my little sister because I realized the Santa Claus wasn't real, but she didn't.
Or my parents would be like, "Oh my God, Santa Claus just got to Russia and he's headed to China."
He's just like the entire country of Russia, which is massive, took him 3.5 seconds.
Yeah,
I mean,
come on. Now. Like, I don't know if like were your parents more like they waited until you fell asleep?
Yes.
Or like,
so what would happen with
like
sometimes they would give me a present if I was staying up late, and they would say, "You can have this now, but you gotta stay in your room and stay quiet until like 11 o'clock in the morning when everybody's awake, because otherwise I'd be up at 4 a.m."
We used to me and my sister. This is the earliest I can remember it. Would wake my parents up at like 6 in the morning. I used to wake up at like 5 in the morning to just like go downstairs and play like Cartoon Network games on like the only computer we had.
Yep.
So like I would wake up 6 in the morning, wake up my whole family like for the presents, to the point where I think like my parents got tired of it, so they would wait until me and my sister like got into our room and like kind of fell asleep, and then be like, "Oh, the presents are here now," so they would get to wake up at like 6 in the morning.
Yeah, like for me, it was like in recent years, like we stopped doing this, but like most of my life, my family would always go to a family party. We would open our gifts at like literally midnight at the family party, and then as soon as we got home at whatever time that was, could be 4 or 5 in the morning. You know how Hispanics party. We would open our gifts then at home. And what my parents would do, that like as soon as like I would get in a car, I'll be like one of the first people to get in a car. So I'm assuming one of my parents would stay behind really quickly, put all the gifts out while they're wrapped, because they're all wrapped obviously under the tree. So by the time we got home later, they were already there, and it's like, oh, Santa Claus came, and I'd believe it.
And then they also have to drink a little bit of the milk and eat half of the cookie.
They take a bite of the cookie
or whatever you left.
Yeah. But yeah,
I can't wait. Good. I can't wait to become a parent.
Good way to start off December with some nice Christmas memories.
And saying that Santa's not real. That's exactly what you want to tell your kids when you're listening to us in the car. Santa is real, kids.
All right.
He's as real as he's real if you believe in him.
Yes.
And something that's not real anymore. It's also seemed like ever since we started this podcast, the topic has always come up. A little segment I like to call "What did Netflix cancel today?" And unfortunately, Netflix has canceled Daredevil after 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
Yeah, 3 seasons.
Yep.
It's been canceled.
Now,
what are we thinking?
I want to ask you guys. We know that Stanley passed away a few weeks ago. We know that Disney owns the rights to almost all Marvel IPs. Is this because Disney's telling Netflix that they can't do this anymore because they have the Marvel IP and Daredevil is part of Marvel, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Or what do you guys think?
This is like I watched probably at least 10 YouTube videos about how everybody reacted to this, and literally all 10 of those videos they all said Disney's making the new streaming service, and they might put it on there, and there's like a bunch of conspiracy theories coming up because there's no like official thing that they've said about where Daredevil's going, and all these shows are going. And Daredevil's one of the best ones out of all of them. I think Punisher comes in a close second, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say so.
Yeah, so the fact that Daredevil got canceled, then
and it was the first one,
and
too.
then most likely all like the Punisher and Jessica Jones are the last two that are left on Netflix that are not officially canceled yet, are most likely going to get canceled within the next few months for sure. So
I don't think Jessica Jones is going to get canceled because her new season's literally coming.
Like, I say the next few months because I'm saying like whatever's done, they're going to show. Yes, but I'm saying like after that it's done. Like they're just going to say like, yeah, it's canceled.
Which does bring up it does bring up, maybe do they put them on the Disney streaming site?
So
probably.
Are they Are they making a Marvel streaming service, or are they making a Disney streaming service which will have Marvel?
Well,
included?
Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm asking.
I mean, if they're adding the Loki and Scarlet Witch show, which has been confirmed to be a Scarlet and Vision show, it's actually titled Vision and Scarlet. That's Marvel, so I'm guessing they have to.
So with that being said, because at least from the rumors I've heard is that wasn't this supposed to be a kid-friendly like app streaming service?
I wouldn't say that necessarily.
That's what I heard originally.
I mean, they might make a kids version, like a kids channel, where it's like, you know how Netflix has like
the kids section
platform and like the kids version where it's just the cartoons and stuff.
I'm assuming that's what they'll do.
Yeah, Disney's probably going to end up doing that because they do a lot of stuff that isn't kid friendly.
Okay, so before we keep going, I was doing some research. Sam Ernest, which is the co-executive producer of the show, tweeted this stuff out, which implies that Netflix was the one that canceled the show. Well, has been canceling shows, not Marvel or Disney. He says, "Man, so weird to be in the Daredevil writers' room today. Getting the news that we're canceled. On the walls for an entire season 4 laid out. And it was so effing cool. So many moments we wanted the fans to see. Sigh, this business. Had lunch yesterday with the Daredevil writers. Sushi provided by our captain at whatever their name is. Marvel execs there too. Just as stunned as we were. More than lunch, really. A wake. A show gets canceled. All those characters we love die. Why I hate my job. Why I love it too." So basically saying that like...
Yeah, but if Netflix got a cease and desist from Disney...
No. Well, no, they it's not a cease and desist. Like, of course there's contracts that they've already signed, Robert.
I understand that. What I mean is like they say that, hey, once this season's done, we want it, and I don't know.
But it seems like this from what he's tweeting out. It seems like that Netflix is the one that was canceled and not.
And this comes back to like one of the things we had said originally. Like, Netflix is in depth. Like they're doing pretty bad. Like, they're not making a lot of money, and like the shows they put out are fucking high quality shows. So like
they're spending a lot of money. I mean,
they're spending a lot of money.
Yeah, we've looked up on this podcast. I think the first episode we talked about like their most expensive shows.
So here lies the question, like, where do we see Netflix in 5 years? Do you think it'll start failing? Like, do you think that Netflix will become a thing of the past, and maybe these new streaming services that are coming up now are going to become the new thing?
I don't think so, no. I think Netflix will be fine.
Okay. So I believe either two things are going to happen. Either all these streaming services are going to realize that their main competition is Netflix, and they're going to have to kill Netflix somehow.
Yeah, because it does all business at the end of the day. It's monopoly.
Exactly. So Netflix is, as the meme says, Netflix didn't just die. Netflix was murdered, okay?
Yeah, pretty much.
Either, like, I always say that I think, like, all these streaming services are going to implode on each other. But, like... The thing is, it's really hard because all these like streaming services are dedicated to one like company, right? Like Disney is like you're only getting the Disney stuff, and all the shit that they own, right? But you can't get something like, and Marvel. I can watch like, I can go from The Office to watching like the Castlevania anime, right? There's like a very big like difference of like things that I can't watch.
You watched all of the Castlevania anime?
No, I have not. I haven't even watched the first episode.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like you watched it. Never mind. Okay, I got you. I got what you're saying.
Like I can go from The Office to like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
Like these are two like very different like things that like I couldn't watch on the Disney streaming service.
I got you. I was about to touch on that actually. It's funny. I was about to say like honestly, and I know like me and you decided like we'll probably share that because the Star Wars, the Mandalorian is coming out in there, and like the Clone Wars is coming out in there.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. And now I honestly do hope that if somehow, some way the all the Defenders shows come out on that streaming service, I'll be happy because I really do want to see the continuation of Daredevil for sure. With that ending, that was such a good ending. I can't like I want to see where that goes. I know they kind of left it in a way where like it's not really a cliffhanger. But you still want to see how everybody turns out, with you want to see how Daredevil turns out, you want to see how Wilson Fisk turns out. I mean, I don't think he's escaping again. I don't think they'll do that for seasons to come, honestly, if they were to do that, yeah.
Well, I forget where I saw it. I think you told me, right, that like there might be planning on putting him like into the movies.
So in the original article, they said that Matt, like Daredevil, like he might come out in other. He might his character's still alive. Is what they're saying. He's not gone. So what that implies is that he may come out in a movie. He may come out in another show. I don't know. Just somewhere. He's not like you're not going to see him again. So that's what has people with hope. That's what's giving people hope. So I'm hoping to see that they keep his character alive in something good.
I think you should just put all these guys in a Spider-Man movie at least once. That just makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll be down with that. Honestly,
I know Spider-Man has teamed up with basically all of them. Those are all basically across the street.
Yeah. So I don't know any other things you want to say.
No, that's bring back Daredevil. Netflix.
I really hope so.
onto something new.
Still with Disney though.
I think but it's still how do we even start? Lion King, it's coming back, baby.
Yep.
But they're CGI live action hybrid, which isn't really live action because there's no people and it's really just the background. But that's too long of a name for a genre. They're coming out. We saw the trailer.
Augmented reality.
What do we think?
I'm a big one of the first movies I watched by Disney was Lion King when I was a kid.
Did you watch it in Spanish?
I've watched it in both, but I watched it in English first.
I watched it in Spanish. Like when I was growing up, that was the only version we had.
The only version you had.
I used to watch it.
Yeah. No, I watched it in English first for sure. I have seen it in Spanish on I was at my grandmother's house and all she had is Spanish TV.
I've asked Big John too if he's watching in Spanish. He says he hates the Spanish version.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And it's not there's just I'm sorry, but there's sometimes really cringy things in Spanish. They don't get the right voice actors, I think, and I think that's what makes it so cringy.
And some of the jokes fall flat because they're American jokes.
Yeah, and I'm just no, this is bad. So yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'll definitely see it. It's gonna be pretty sad seeing Mufasa's death again.
Yeah.
And they're bringing back James
Earl Jones. Yeah, James Earl Jones is the voice, which I'm glad he's lived long enough to get that voice back again for him. Because I don't think anybody. I honestly don't think his voice is so iconic. I don't think anybody else could do it.
Listen. What we need to do before we can go into Lion King, we need to have a Darth Vader movie before this man goes before this man passes away. There needs to be a Darth Vader movie.
Give James Earl Jones another 10 years, please, God. Because, dude, I would. Oh my God, Darth Vader movie would be great. But Lion King, I'm so glad that he's back for that. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that the movie is as good as the live action, quote unquote, is as good as.
We do have the cast. I don't know if you guys know the cast. We have Beyonce.
Who's Beyonce playing?
As Nala.
Oh, Nala. Okay, gotcha.
Nala. Eric Andre, the comedian, as Ed the hyena.
Ed the hyena.
Good job, Stu. That's the worst part. Let's see. Donald Glover, Simba, which is a good.
Okay. Yeah.
Name. Seth Rogen as Pumbaa,
which is going to be hilarious.
We'll see. Chiwetel Ejiofor,
good enough.
As Scar. James Earl. Any other stand-outs? Keegan, the comedian Banzai.
God, you're butchering the fuck out of these names. I think we should skip
over
the
names.
Who's Banzai?
Isn't Keegan-Michael Keegan in this movie?
From what I've heard.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Keegan. Yeah, Keegan.
From what I heard, they're good actors and comedians. So
yeah, these are good comedians.
Again, I'm still excited to see how the movie turns out.
And I can't wait for. They're probably gonna do singing if Donald Glover and Beyonce are.
Well, I mean, you got that iconic song right at the beginning. And Hakuna Matata.
None of the characters.
And
that's where I'm wondering. Can Seth Rogen?
Hold up. I saw I saw this on a meme page, but I wasn't sure it was true. Is it true that Simba's gonna be vegan? Not vegan, but vegetarian. My bad.
I don't think so.
Probably not. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense, but in today's age, like I would not be surprised.
Well, no, it can't be, because if this is true to the first Lion King, he eats bugs with Timon.
Yeah, and that's
so he can't be vegan.
So I was looking at the comment. I didn't actually look it up. I should have. I was looking at the comment section, and somebody literally says like, so I guess no bug scene, huh? I was like, yeah, probably not. That's the only time he ate anything in the movie.
I mean, like, on one part I am excited, but the other, it's kind of like, I hate that they're remaking all their, like, movies into live action movies. Like, we have Dumbo coming out.
They're making a live action Dumbo?
Yeah, you didn't see the trailer?
No, I didn't know that was
I don't.
You know what I would love to see live action? I would love to see Mulan live action. That movie was incredible.
Yeah, Danny DeVito's and Dumbo, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Like, as long as they do it right, I guess. Like, I don't mind. You know, I guess especially if you're a big fan of them. You know, people love Disney movies. Like, don't you remember they even had a couple of years ago Cinderella live action? So
yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
And Beauty and the Beast. A lot of people didn't like it.
Wasn't Snow White done too?
Yeah, Snow White and the Horseman or whatever, which is like an action movie. And then they made Alice in Wonderland, which is also like live action.
And they made Maleficent.
And it's an action. Yeah, like Maleficent, I heard it's like the only decent one. But like, I just hear that it's like very a lot of problems, like emotional.
And they did 101 Dalmatians too, live action.
Don't tell me. Did they really?
Didn't they?
No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
back in the day.
When?
A long time ago, Brandon. This is
like
years
ago, I think. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Did they actually have...
they made two of them with like I forget what the.
Oh, in 1996. Who gives a fuck?
Well, no, like that's what he's saying though. Like they made like the live action trend has been for a while, and like those are like the first.
No,
ones
hold on. They didn't. Oh my god, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had them both on VHS.
Oh, that's right, they did. Oh my god,
you forgot.
And Cruella gave everybody nightmares.
But I feel like that's something that you can make. Like Dumbo is such a weird thing to make live action. Like there's a reason. Like it's like video game like movies, right? Like there's a reason why some of these things are only in like video games, because that's the only medium.
You mean like the Pokemon
in.
Detective Pikachu thing?
Okay, that's different. No, you know what movie was actually pretty good? I'm not gonna lie. The Jungle Book.
Yes.
Live action. It's on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, you should. It's actually really good. I'm not gonna lie. So maybe it'll be good.
I have not to quote one of the most popular songs right now, but I have high hopes for this movie.
What song is that?
You don't know what High Hopes is? Have you ever heard of Panic at the Disco?
I've heard of Panic at the Disco.
Yeah,
I don't listen to music like that.
I don't think he's one of the most popular songs right now, Robert.
I don't know. Watch the video. Watch the High Hopes music video. Well, listen to the song at least. I like it.
It was done 2 days ago. That's probably why. Oh yeah, that's probably why it hasn't been like that. Well, I didn't know you listened to Panic at the Disco, Robert.
Yeah, I write Sins Not Tragedies.
There's a lot. I keep saying there's a lot of stuff about Robert. We don't know what type of music he likes. I don't know a lot of things.
Not hip hop.
Yeah, every once in a while we do.
You'll find out more about me eventually.
We will one day.
I'm just guarded. You have to meet me in person soon.
We'll do. But let's talk about a little segment here called Quickie in the Cinema. Quickie in the movie theater. I'm still working on the name. Me and Jed, yesterday we went to go watch the final airing of Overlord over here.
Yeah.
Me and Jed has some pretty interesting opinions on it. And a bunch of backstory to this, because I think we've been like talking about this movie for about a year now, right, Jed?
Yeah, I would say about a year.
We've been like let me start where the story begins. So everybody like really knows like our background with Overlord. Maybe not even a year ago, about a couple months ago, Cloverfield Paradox came out on Netflix, and it was revealed that they were thinking about making another movie in the Cloverfield universe. Which, if you need explaining on the Cloverfield universe, watch a video. This is not like we can't do it. As much as I love the Cloverfield lore, I can't understand. I can't explain it that well. It's just different universes, stuff like that. Overlord was originally supposed to be
a part of that universe,
a Cloverfield, yeah, but like it isn't, and
it's its
I don't
own
understand
thing.
it. Like
it's just its own thing.
It's its own thing now.
It's just its own thing, and I don't know if they originally. I want to. We'll get deeper into this later, but basically it's just its own thing, and I don't know if like they had the original plan of making it a part of the Cloverfield universe somehow. Like I don't even know how the fuck they would do it.
Because this I don't know how long this movie's been in production, but if I'm guessing from like how long movies usually take, it probably was in production during like by the time we were watching Cloverfield Paradox.
It was probably finished by then.
So we do know it's been confirmed that J.J. Abrams likes to just make a movie and then just put the Cloverfield name on that movie, such as 10 Cloverfield Lane. But our opinions on Overlord right now, full spoilers. I'm going to put a time card down below to skip to the next section. My opinions, Overlord is a decently good movie. Some predictable stuff, but other than that, that doesn't mean it's bad. I enjoyed it.
Yep. I feel the same way. I think it was a very good movie. Predictable stuff, but it didn't really have a twist, and I think that's what I hated. I didn't like about it. I was expecting a twist, and I think it's because I misread YouTube. So the whole ending explained thing.
Yeah, so me and Jed ended up like both seeing a title of like the twist and Overlord, and I don't like. Did you end up watching the video? Because I didn't have a chance.
Yeah, no, it was just basically what you said. Yeah, no, it wasn't explaining anything else, but what you said, like it just went over the movie with spoilers. So, but the guy that I was watching, he actually said like he read the original script, and the original script sounded way better. He even agreed on it, which I totally agree with it too. And basically they said that it was originally supposed to be like they drop in, right, but it was supposed to be like more Nazi zombies. Like it was supposed to be way more action packed, like zombies everywhere. They were shooting them in the dark. Like I feel like imagine a movie where like they're fighting soldiers, right? Like Nazi soldiers, they're killing them in like the dark, fog of war, like nighttime, right? And then like you had like they come up, towards like the church or whatever, and like they were working on them in the lab, and like the zombies start coming out and start like eating the soldiers and stuff like that were in the airborne and stuff like that. Like that would have been a crazier movie, I think. Like what do you think?
That's kind of what the movie that I wanted to see.
That's what you were expecting, and that's what their original script had. It was supposed to be that, but then they changed it. And again, like I don't mind what they changed it into. Like I think it's still like one of those movies that kind of make you think, and I think the purpose is that like this was supposed to be contained. And obviously the original script, it wasn't contained because they were running around. So I think, the whole like idea of like, Operation Overlord, like the night before, like you had the airborne drop in behind the beaches of Normandy and like take out all these like communication towers and studying the enemy from the end, basically, right? So I think crap, where was I going with this? Like I think that was what the fuck was I going with this? Fuck. Brain fart shit. Wow, I totally forgot what I was saying. Anyways, shit. You continue. I might come back to me. You continue. So anything else you gotta say about the movie?
What do we have to say? Nothing. I think it's like to be honest, I think it's gonna be like a pretty forgettable movie down the line. Like I don't think this is like a masterpiece. So what I was saying,
it just hit me again. So what I was saying is like the whole idea of like, what if, because you probably seen like, like I said, I told you the History Channel on like how the Nazis did actually work on like weird experiments, and they experimented on people and try to even bring the dead back to life and all that stuff. So like, what if like there was a lab, like they always like you always think about like, oh, what if there was a lab, and then like these guys like went and killed like whatever was left of that lab, blew it up, and no one ever found out. Like that's always like in the back of your head too. And I think that's why they kept the zombies contained in this movie, and they weren't just running around, because then it would have just been any other zombie apocalypse, basically. in the middle of World War II. So
yeah, like this is a World War II movie. To be honest, the scariest parts are the World War II parts. Like, and there's a thing about World War or any war movie in general that actually like freaks me out, because it's like people have lived through this, and there could be a possibility that one day, like, we might break out into war, and you may have to live through this.
It's just like
fucking, like, scary.
It's just like scary like that. Like, I think the first like few minutes of the movie when they're dropping into it, I like how they did that drop. Like, it was one take, him falling out of the plane. That whole entire part was one take, and I thought that was fucking cool as shit. But it's just like that I think how like everybody was just so calm, and then like he's like sleeping, he wakes up to the explosions, right? And it's like, oh shit, like they're all looking at each other like, oh shit, we're about to get into this shit. And then all of a sudden the bullets start going through the plane and kill a few of them, and then like the guys like vomiting. You could see like the true terror in these guys, and like they're just like they were fucking scared as shit. Like, I even said, I looked over, I was like, holy shit, I'd be scared shitless if I was in this fucking situation. Fuck that. Even those guys trained for I think almost a year for this, because Operation Overlord, I forget, I think it was almost a year. They trained for the airborne part of it for a while, and I don't like, nothing could prepare you for that. Like, that's just like, that's horrible.
Oh yeah,
like to go through that. But that, I think they did a good job at the war movie. Like, if these guys made a full blown war movie, not just like horror, I think they would have done a good job.
Yeah, I think they got the war parts really well.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a good movie. Definitely, if it's on like your Redbox, or if it ever gets on Netflix, definitely watch it. I think it's just something that's like a cool watch too.
Yeah.
For like with your friends, like have a cool like movie night.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of movie.
But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah, it's not that great of a movie, but
I think what got me interested was just like, I like zombies, and I like World War II, and we play Nazi zombies. So I think like all that together, I was like, oh, that's what I'm expecting the movie to kind of be.
Did you ever read what Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
No.
Did you? I always wanted to read that. I read Pride and Prejudice in high school. I just wanted to read the zombie version. But anyway, sorry. On to some life topics. Twitter has been blowing up recently because of the Thot audit.
Yeah.
Which I'm highly disappointed that we didn't call it the Thotit. That should have been good. So let me catch everybody up to speed. Basically, what happened is that someone on Twitter thought it would be funny to troll a sex worker. Allegedly, we don't know if this is 100% true. By reporting her to the IRS, her premium Snapchat, to the IRS, where she ended up getting audited, and a bunch of people. To be honest, I laughed at the memes. I don't think you like can't laugh at those memes. There's some like really good ones.
Yeah, I agree.
But some people actually took it serious, and that's the people I have a problem with. So me and Jed I don't know if like Jed has like a different opinion on this. I don't know if Robert even like knows what to do about this,
or what to say,
since he's an old man.
I don't follow it, so I'm just gonna let you guys talk about it.
Alrighty, Jed, what are your takes? Let me hear your hot takes.
My
today.
Serious takes? I don't really have a hot take. I'm more with you, honestly.
Oh, this is awkward.
What did you expect? Did you expect me to go against you? No, it's like
I did actually.
It's like no, like I was messing around with you before, obviously, this whole podcast talking to you about it. But no, I mean, that's all I agree with you. I think like I don't know. I also think a lot of it is people don't understand how the IRS works too.
Yeah.
That are saying like, oh, like these thoughts should be reported or whatever the fuck, because they're getting like a bunch of money that's not even being reported.
We don't even know.
But they don't know how the IRS works, and like how like all this shit works in general. So like the people who are like taking it serious, I feel like a lot of them don't know that.
Yeah.
And a part of it is also I think it's like a meme, but also like you say, a slight hate towards women, maybe. I don't even know, like the way they say things. I would say it's a slight hate. Can you relax?
What do you think?
Like, and I also think a lot of it is pettiness.
A lot of it is people hate. I think like I don't know if you know what incels are.
No, enlighten me.
Okay, so incels are this like group of guys who think that like. Hold on, let me actually find like the actual definition so I don't butcher this. Because it's like
while you find out. So what I was saying is I think it's petty because like I follow quite a couple of girls on social media. You know, some do Patreon. You know, some do I would say sex work on the side, as in like the Snapchat premiums, stuff like that. You know, while they're doing cosplay and all that stuff, blah blah blah. And there is like they post stuff that guys say to them, right? Such as like, you know, there'll be like a guy in their DMs trying to talk to them, right? And because they don't talk back to them the way they want them to, they would go on and say some really messed up shit, right? And then they would try to be like, oh, this girl's a whore and this and that. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, oh, it's petty. Like these are the guys that are probably doing those memes, and these are the guys that are probably taking it serious and saying, oh, let's audit all these thoughts, right? So those are the types of people that I think are like really behind that whole entire fucking thing.
All right, I got incel, aka an involuntary celibate, a person, usually male, who has a horrible personality and treats women like sexual objects, and think his lack of a sex life comes from being quote unquote ugly, when it really just his blatant sexism and terrible attitude. Incels have little to no self-awareness, even when they see other ugly men with girlfriends. They consider these men to be tricksters who have somehow beat the system and can get women despite being cursed with unattractiveness. In other words, they're respectful to women, and women are attracted to their personalities, but incels can't comprehend such a phenomenon. They believe that women owe them sex, and many of the more extreme incels like to spend time in incel communities on the internet coming up with ways to make women have sex with them, often involving genocide of people of color, genocide of Chads, men who have sex, taking rights away from women, raping them, having sex with women's dead bodies, and other horrid, disgusting things. They can't understand that that is precisely why women want nothing to do with them. So that's what an incel is. Like it's like this really big thing. I'm surprised you never heard of it. Like it's actually like starting to become like kind of a problem.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard. Like, I mean,
but you've met guys. Like I'm pretty sure you've met people who like.
No, I've met guys that are like sexist and very like. I just think they're just like really stupid towards women. Like they're just sexist in general. But I've never.
You never met a guy who like thinks women owe him sex because he's a nice guy?
No, I actually haven't.
Really?
Have you?
I have. Yeah.
I'm be honest.
Like
I've never met one like that. Like those the types of guys that hold open a door for a woman and be like, damn, she is.
Yeah, like that meme.
Yeah.
That meme is like there's people who's like that. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like they expect something in return. No, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
You can take it as those guys who are like, oh, I took this girl on a date and she won't like date me, like those kind of guys.
Yeah,
too.
I get you.
Like you've met.
I think what I was saying earlier in a mixture of incels is kind of like what the fuck is like why this thing blew up probably so much.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because
you have the meme people, and then you have like a mixture of that, and you have a mixture of people who even own meme pages who are also probably incels and petty and shit.
Oh yeah.
And I think all of that just created a whole fucking meme for it for a while, and it's kind of dying now for sure. Like I don't see too many memes now about it, but yeah, I think that's what happened. I think that's why it blew up so much.
That's exactly what happened. But anyways, guys, just pay your taxes.
Yeah, pay your taxes before you get memed.
If you have a premium Snapchat, send me your link. I'd like to get it for free. Anyways, let's get to our game stuff now. Rocksteady, the creators of the Batman Arkham series, has released that they're confirmed. I don't know have they confirmed?
Yeah, they confirmed it. They confirmed they're making a Superman game.
They confirmed that they are making a Superman game. Do you guys see this like as an actual possibility? Like, what?
Well, I mean, it is a possibility they're making it, but I think like,
no. I mean,
like,
but
do you
like,
think
I
it'll
said
succeed?
good.
Like, it would be good.
Yeah.
Well, Rocksteady made the Batman Arkham games, all of them. So, judging by how good those games were for their time, and even the one that came out 3 years ago, which apparently for all fans, because I didn't play it. I didn't play any of the Batman games. Don't at me. Sadly, Adrian's not here. He probably could have talked more about it because he's a big Batman fan. But anyways,
Yeah.
at least we know they make good games. So the thing is, I just can't picture a Superman game today for some reason.
That's the same thing I was going to say.
I just can't picture it, and I know with the graphics that Batman had 3 years ago, which was pretty good graphics, which will probably be even better now that they're making a Superman game. I just can't picture when I think Superman, I'm thinking like buildings falling apart, major godlike fights, like almost like Dragon Ball Z style. Like I'm expecting a lot of destruction. I don't know if I think the reason I can't picture is because I don't know if this generation of gaming can handle such crazy shit with good graphics. Maybe next gen, if it comes out for next gen, maybe this is what they're doing. Maybe they're going to wait. Maybe this is a game that's going to come out for next generation that with consoles, and obviously PC will handle it, but with consoles that can handle it, and maybe it'll look good, And Rocksteady, remember, this is going back to Spider-Man. They had it's funny because Marvel announces that they're making a bunch of Marvel games, and all of a sudden DC's like, yeah, we're gonna do the same. So Rocksteady came out of nowhere, was like, oh, here comes Superman first.
What a bunch of losers, bro.
But it's not like I don't know if they were gonna do it before, but it's coincidence, right? Marvel announces they're making a whole gaming universe, and all of a sudden Rocksteady wants to continue on after Batman, making more superhero games. So now we have Superman coming out. Whenever that's gonna be official. I mean, it is official, but whenever the first trailer comes out, who knows?
Have you guys seen a game on Steam called Megaton Rainfall?
No, what is that about?
No, what? Yeah.
Look it up. It's basically you become a superhero. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can destroy buildings. You can fight other things. The whole planet, I think the whole solar system might actually be in it. And you can just teleport yourself around, destroying buildings and everything. Basically, everything you said about this supposed Superman game that's coming out.
Yeah.
That is Megaton Rainfall.
But next question though. Is it graphically beautiful?
That's to the eye of the beholder. In my opinion, graphics are to the eye of the beholder, to whoever watches the game or is viewing it.
Well, the way I look at it, because I think they're gonna kind of keep the same realistic art style. Because if you look at Batman games, that's what I'm talking about. Batman Arkham City, I think what was the last one? I think it was Arkham City or Arkham Knight. My bad. Was the last game that came out, and that looked beautiful. That looked fucking great, and that's what I'm picturing Superman. I'm picturing Superman almost looking graphically at least, something like Spider-Man, which recently came out, right? I want it to look that good, but I'm also wondering, are using that type of art style, using all that, how are they going to get building destruction and whatever's going to be in that game? That's what I'm waiting for. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. And that's what I want. That's another thing. That's what I want out of a Superman game. And I don't want to just have non-destructible buildings. I don't know how they would do with non-destructible buildings. I do want destructible buildings, so I don't know. I'm just expecting. I'm expecting something good. Let's see how the next few years go when they finally release a trailer. So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping they do wait for next gen, obviously, which I think they will, because we're coming to the end of this generation of gaming consoles.
Somehow, after 4 years.
No, better to get a PC.
No, that is true. Because how long did PS3 and Xbox 360 last?
8 or 10.
As the years go on, technology is going to get better and better, and the old equipment's just going to die out faster and faster and faster. So you'll see
that is true.
Coming out
that is very true.
Basically, computers are going to be better than getting. So you could spend $800 on a decent gaming PC and then upgrade it instead of spending several hundred on a console every 5 years or sooner.
Yeah,
and the games for PC are generally cheaper and better.
The we talked about this in previous podcasts. The only thing that would keep us like coming back to consoles is really just the exclusives. And I don't know if you you play the exclusive, but we do, but like we like a lot of things that PlayStation have. Obviously, like I'd come back for God of War, Bloodborne 2, all those exclusive Spider-Man, obviously. And I just that's the only reason I would buy a PS5. Really, I'm hoping obviously I have the money by then. I'm a full PC gamer by the time the next generation comes around. But I will buy a PS5 just for the exclusives at that point.
I mean, I'll buy a PS5 because I've had every PlayStation since the first one came out.
That is true. That is true. It's like tradition, I think, at that point.
But I mean,
but for sure, I do want to make
overpriced and the equipment's still good.
For sure, I do want to make PC my primary gaming place eventually. So can't wait.
Same here.
So anyways, let's talk about Fallout 76. Biggest disappointment this year, right? One of the biggest.
I wouldn't say it's the biggest disappointment in gaming.
If you're a huge Fallout fan, yes. So let me start this off real quick because I'm actually getting mad. I am a sucker. I am a huge sucker for RPG survival multiplayer games. Anything like that. Like Ark, love that shit. I want to buy that shit. If I had a PC, I'd buy that shit.
It's available on PlayStation, is it not?
Yeah, but it's trash. There's like it's not. It's trash. It's because like
it's
PlayStation
badly.
PlayStation cannot run that game. And the reason I say this is because like I've tested it. Like I've gone into servers where these guys have like a bunch of buildings built, right? And they have like multiple dinosaurs, like all there in one area,
like
and it becomes a slideshow. And speaking of Ark, it got announced on Switch, and I'm like, well, welcome to 2 frames per second, because that's what the fuck's gonna happen there. If it could barely run on PlayStation 4, how are they gonna run it on Switch? I am sorry, that is not running on Switch that well. I just can't wait to see the gameplay, honestly. I really do. Anyways, continuing on.
It's gonna be an hour-long video. So I'm a sucker for those kinds of games. Forest I like because it was that kind of game. Anyways, Fallout 76. The day those. First off, I was already really turned off when they did the timed betas because my schedule just didn't align.
That's total bullshit.
My schedule aligned like not whatsoever with any of them, and they didn't even have it on a Friday. That's the worst part.
Or a weekend. Or were they on the weekend?
No, they did, but it was like a Saturday and Sunday. They didn't have it on Friday for some reason, which is like the most bullshit because I have off on Friday, and I was like, well, that was the only time I really could have played it. But I can't.
That and the fact that this beta was only available for 3 weeks before the game came out. It really wasn't a beta. You were playing the final version of the game. They didn't fix anything, clearly.
Basically. So what did I do after those betas were done? I went back to GameStop and I canceled my pre-order for the first time. Like I've never canceled a pre-order game. And I knew since then. I knew this game was gonna be shit. I watched Ninja, Logic, and Rick and Morty play this game, and I was literally just bored watching it. It was just like it was a huge disappointment for me. I don't really like Fallout that much. I'll be honest. Don't at me.
I'll say the same thing. I've never played Fallout 4.
Even I didn't like Fallout 4 that much, but like I said, I'm a sucker for these kinds of games. So it's kind of I had really big hopes. Like, I watched like Angry Joe's like video where he like the I don't know if he's the creator. I don't think it's the creator, but like one of the heads was saying how if you wanted to in this game, if you made the best meat recipe ever, you could have spent their whole time playing this game just selling meat to different players. But like Angry Joe was like, that's not even worth it. Like there's no point in doing that really, because you just like get the same meat that they just made like randomly or some it was just like worthless. And I'm just like, god damn it.
You know about Todd Howard, right?
Yeah, Todd.
So when you look back at like E3, I'm just like, where are all these promises? Like first off, the game is a downgrade from Fallout 4. They're like talking about how we have like it's basically the same engine that they've been using for fucking ages now, and apparently they made it better. But no, that shit is way worse. It was a fucking graphical downgrade, but they were like saying like, oh yeah, this look, we have new like graphic upgrades like God rays, you know, for like the fucking sun and how it goes through trees and all that shit. And I'm like, obviously not. Like you look at gameplay, people pointed out like there's literally God rays going through the ground. Like the fucking sun rays are just like going literally through the ground. Like where is the light coming from?
That's Bethesda.
You know? And it's just like the thing is like, oh, and another thing is like Todd Howard said, like, you know, they had a bunch of people working on this game, like, and like made it sound like it was the second coming of Jesus, and like no, it wasn't. It's a very, very broken game. And that's why that's one of the biggest reason people are turned off by it and not playing it, is because you can't go a few minutes without seeing a single bug in that game. There are so many broken things in that game, and it's sad to see that, because like, you know, we were actually hyped for the game because we were like, oh, like it's gonna be a fun multiplayer game. You know, we were under the impression that like we would go in, you know, fight other factions and build our settlement, and you know, like we would have like our own fun adventure, our own fun survival RPG adventure with our friends, and that's what we were expecting. But with all these bugs, that's a big no. You know, like we're not gonna get into that. And then on top of that, a big turnoff, which I may not have heard, you know, just my ignorance, I guess, when they originally announced it, because I heard they did say that during the E3 conference or something like that, but was that there was going to be no NPCs in the world, right? And I actually wanted NPCs in the world, because that's what makes Fallout for me. Is like, you know, it's not only that, you know, you were going to be interacting in this game with like actual players, like actual humans, but I also wanted to interact with not just fucking robots, because that's what they have in the damn game now, robots, but actual human NPCs and other in-game factions that are in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like the Raiders and, you know, other people that we like, other factions that we know that are in the Fallout universe. Like I was hoping that would be in there too, but it's not. It's a fucking dead world. And on top of that, the quests are a fucking joke. The quests are like, go pick up 10 fucking bottles or some shit. Like, what kind of fucking quests are those? And another thing is like, you know, at least from what I've heard, is that like you can get to the highest level and it doesn't even become a challenge. Like nothing's a challenge anymore. And I'm like, what's the point of getting to the high level if you can kill everything so quick? Like you still want things to be a challenge. So there's just a lot of stuff that didn't come out right with this game. It's not just the fact that it's broken, but there's some gameplay parts of it that are just bad too, that they should have addressed and made better. There's a lot broken with this game, and it just they did a very bad job, and I'm actually scared now about what they're gonna do with the next Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I was just about to say, should we be nervous about whatever the next Elder Scrolls?
No, I would be nervous, and I'm sorry.
Yes,
like,
you should.
You know, like I had trust in Bethesda. You know, I may be a little biased to this. I'm still excited about Doom. Doom is fucking great. They can do, and that's honestly what's so weird about how the fuck they fucked up Fallout so bad, is that they have games like Dishonored, Doom, and Wolfenstein that all run great and all play great. They're great games. Even the Evil Within 1 and 2, they're great games, but they can't fucking you can't make a good Fallout game after all these years. Like, how the hell did you fuck that up so bad?
They need to bring Obsidian back to develop Fallout.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Because they're the ones who made New Vegas, right?
3 or New Vegas, one of those two.
It was New Vegas. Yeah, I remember. It's New Vegas now. Yeah, because 3 was them, but New Vegas is the one they made. Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they need to bring back Obsidian to make the next Fallout 5 or some shit. Because this is a mess. And what's bad is that I can't remember the statement they said, but like, you know, like they made a stupid ass statement because they know everybody was like really pissed about everything, right? But they made like some dumb statement. I can't remember. I wish
they said podcast, like sorry, but we sorry to our millions of players who are playing the game, and like they patched like a bunch of useless shit.
Or I think I think you're on the right track. I think they said something like, "Oh, sorry, but you know, at least there's still like, not in this quote, but at least there's still millions of players playing," or some shit like that. Like trying to say like, I don't know what everybody's talking about. People are still playing our game. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's something like along the lines of that they were saying.
And let's not forget about their shitty pre-order shit.
So yeah, okay. So now we go into that. So the Federal Trade Commission is investigating them too because the pre-order poster for the $200 pre-order of the game that came with the
yes, I heard about this.
The bag is so the bag. So the thing is, in the poster, they said like the bag in the poster was a different material, right? Like a better material. The official product that you get is a nylon bag, right? So cheap nylon bag, right? Real thin. So somebody pointed out was like, this poster says this. Like it literally says on the poster the material the bag is made out of, right? So obviously people are going to pay the $200 because they're big Fallout fans, and because it comes with the helmet and the power armor helmet and a bunch of other little things, and they're going to buy this version of the game, right? Expecting that bag too, because I mean it says it in words at the very bottom, and Bethesda like didn't go through with that. And the funny thing is, it's kind of funny because like the same thing happened to the game. We expected one thing, got the other. Bag expected one thing, got the other. I think it's just kind of funny how two things happen with them at the same time like that. So a lot of people, there was a lot of backlash now that the Federal Trade Commission's like looking in on it. Who knows what'll happen with that. And it's just really funny. I think what they said to them was like, oh, like just be happy that they were like, oh, we think this bag was put together very well. Just be happy with what you got. That was some of their actual responses to them. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works. Oh, and then the funniest part. So because they fucked up on the bag, right? Anybody who got that version of the game gets free 500 atomic. I think the microtransactions are called atomic something. It's like atomic caps or some bullshit. Which is the microtransaction currency. 500 atomic caps. Let's just say that's what it is. Is equal to $5 in their microtransaction store.
That's a lot of money. Oh my god! Where am I going to come up with $5?
As a sorry for their fucking bag fuck up.
How much do you have to pay? Like $200?
To get $5 back in in-game currency. Wow.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's like, in a way, when you think about it, it's kind of promoting their fucking microtransactions. Like, all that shit is bullshit, and you can't even get. When you really look at it, you can't even get something really cool with the $5, the 500 atomic caps, right? You really can't. There is literally hairstyles in the fucking store that are $5. One hairstyle.
Oh, damn.
So I would have rather just them give me five actual dollars back to spend on something that I want, not a fucking hairstyle or anything in your damn store for your fucking game. Because if you think about it, you're paying them back. Like, what?
What a bunch of fucking idiots.
Like, you're literally paying them back. That's literally what you did there.
Oh my god.
So that's why it's just like, dude, like, what? Like, who thought of this? But anyways, Bethesda's in some deep shit. I am worried about Elder Scrolls now after this big clusterfuck of shit. I'm upset because I am I would say I'm a decent Fallout fan. I played Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4. So I never actually, no, that's a lie. I played 2 when I was a fucking kid on the computer, but I barely remember that game. Anyways, so yeah, I would say I'm a fairly decent fan, and I wish that this game had came out great, but it just turned out to be shit. I just want to see how it turns out in a year. If this is gonna be one of those games that everybody forgets and it just becomes nothing, or if it does somehow come back and people play it again. I don't fucking know. They literally, one of the biggest things they have to do is fix the bugs. Honestly, the bugs is really killing the fucking game. Did you hear about that bug that people were in God mode in the game? You hear about that bug?
That's some stupid shit.
So people were in God mode and literally hit up the developers and were like, "Can you please fucking kill me? I can't die," because it was ruining the whole experience.
Oh, like they accidentally got into God mode?
Yeah, because that was actually a bug in the game.
Yeah, that sucks.
So they literally were like to Bethesda, they were like, can you please delete my character? and restart me, please, because they couldn't die.
Wow.
So imagine that. Like, imagine getting to a high level and then not being able to die. And like most people think, like, oh, at first, like God mode's cool, right? You can't fucking die, right? But it's actually a bug, and I think there's certain things in the game that you might want to die for and all that shit. It's just part of the game in general. You want to challenge, right? And they were just like, hey, kill me, please. Like, delete my character. I don't care what you do. Just restart me. Because literally that's how bad it was. Like, they couldn't do anything. So it's just bugs like that. Like, bugs that are that big, game-breaking, literally, that it shouldn't be there. And, like, they are. There's so many of them. And that's one example. But, yep. That's Fallout 76 in a nutshell. It's a big cluster.
And to be honest, that's not even the biggest disappointment for me this year in terms of gaming. Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Strikers.
Naruto the Boruto.
Still the biggest.
Dude, I saw that from a mile away. I warned you. And this comes back to marketing too. The way they market, Japanese games in general in America, 90% of them don't make it. That like they don't get sold that well. And Naruto took a big ass fall because of it. That's why I'm scared of Jump Force. Because like Jump Force looks cool. It does.
I'm excited for Jump Force. Jump Force is going to be cool.
Anime games never get any sort of
marketing.
Any sort of like marketing. Like I said, I told you if I've only ever seen one Naruto game ever have a commercial, and it was for Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles 2. Then nobody even fucking remembers that game.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Like it's those games that like it just wasn't marketed right and it didn't make it. So it's pretty much dead. And what you were telling me, you said the servers were down for a month.
I think so. Or like a long
they literally killed the fucking game. If it wasn't already dead, they just killed it. Like who's the fuck's gonna come back with all the new games that are coming out?
I want to, like, I honestly wanted to come back to it, but like there's a lot of things. I want to make like a video explaining why, like, I never actually got to like beat the game. I beat the game, but I never got to do like get all the training done so that I could like get like special jutsus because it was just boring.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, and it sucks because like you're a fan, and as a fan, obviously you still want to kind of support buy these games because you're a fan. And that's what sucks is like it just fucking died because of the marketing and they're bad. I think were they communicating with anybody? Like were they communicating with the fans of the game? Like
it's really weird because
there was a disconnection.
Like even before the game came out, like YouTubers were getting flown over there, like big YouTubers like Jofu, Afro Senju, like people who like actually care about like the community were like being sent out there. But then they just were like a month later they're just like, I'm dropping the game, like nothing's happening. They're not listening to us.
And what a fail, man. Like that sucks. Because I know when we played like Xenoverse, like I think Xenoverse lasted a while, right? I would say Xenoverse definitely lasted a while. It was a very like the online was very active for a while. I don't know about Xenoverse 2 because I barely played it, but I think Xenoverse 1 for sure lasted a while. And that was fun back in the day. We can't lie that we didn't have fun. Like those 3v3s were fucking great. Fighting each other.
Yeah.
But anyways, anything else you want to say about that?
Does anybody else have a disappointment this year for gaming wise?
Disappointment. Fuck, I can't think of anything. I don't think. Hold up. Do I have any disappointment? No. Nothing this year. I mean, something I feel shitty about. And this is kind of a last year to this year type of thing. Because of continuation of it. So Battlefront 2 just dropped the Geonosis DLC. Good DLC, and you can truly see the fucking potential that was going to be in this game, And what sucks about it is, like, I don't think that EA is supporting it fully, obviously, because after, like, remember the whole microtransaction thing and, like, the pay-to-win, quote-unquote, thing that happened, and, like, they got slapped down for it, and literally, I think their original plan, because me and Vinny were talking about because we were playing it, like, yesterday, was that, like, they're going to use microtransaction money, if that didn't go to shit, and use it towards, like, all the cool DLCs they're probably going to add into this game, because there's so much, like, content, especially in the Clone Wars alone, that they could add into this game. There's so many planets like Coruscant, and I think did they add Bespin? I can't remember. There's just so many fucking planets that they could add from just the Clone Wars alone into this game. And Geonosis is finally in the game. But when you look at Geonosis, you're like, all right, this is cool. This is fun, right? But you want more of that.
Mm.
And it's only one DLC. Obi-Wan and General Grievous are now in there. And there's no other major map coming out this year. And I don't know if they're going to announce another one. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like the support for the game is not there anymore. And I guess it's because people still play. Like, you can still find a game really quick. So it's not dead on PlayStation, at least. But I guess it's because, like, after the whole thing with the microtransactions happened, EA stopped, like, really caring about the game as much. And I don't know if it's because, like, the money. I know they had to, like, figure out probably another way to get the fucking money to make these DLCs, obviously. So I don't know. That's my biggest disappointment, is that Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a beautiful failure, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And that's what sucks. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I don't know if EA will ever make a Battlefront 3, and if they fucking do, because the Battlefield 5 is doing great right now. And that months ago wasn't looking too great to media, but right now that people are playing it, and even the people who said, like, oh, the game was trash months ago, they're loving it now because of what they did with it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, if they do make a Battlefront 3, I hope that it's just as good. There's no more fucking bullshit. Because I finally want a Battlefront game that's actually fucking great. And I'm hoping that if they do make a Battlefront 3, it's fucking great. That's all I can hope for. So with that being said, that's pretty much the only disappointment I have this year with gaming. I don't think there's anything else that I can talk about. So yeah. Anything else, Brandon?
What do you? No, Robert. What do you think? Any disappointments?
Anything for me? There's a game that just came out, but it's in beta, and it's having a bad launch, but it just came out yesterday, so I'm gonna give it some slack.
Okay.
Got you. What game is it?
It's called Identity. It's an MMO. It's an R.I.P. MMO. It's on Steam for $27, we'll round up, dollars. And basically it's a simulator of, imagine Grand Theft Auto, but without all the crime shit. Like, you can do crime. It's basically real life in a video game, which is weird. Why would you do that? But
yeah, I got
you. Let you go around, you could be a criminal, or you could be a cop if you're not a cop, or you could be whatever.
Yeah.
It's not done, but it's in early access, and it's having a terrible launch. There's plenty of bugs and server issues. This game's been developed for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's been crowdsourced, so crowdfunded. So you know how games that are crowdfunded get. If there's even a minor hiccup, everybody freaks out.
Oh, you just reminded me of something. Robert says you're done. So, another big disappointment this year, which we kind of touched on, actually, Brandon. This week.
Mm-hmm.
You're done, Robert, right? Or you continue?
No, yeah, you can go ahead. It's just, people got to give these things a crowdfunded game. You got to remember, games cost a lot of money to make.
Oh, yes.
They cost a ton of money to make. Say this game might have made, excuse me, might have made about, we'll say, $2 million in crowdfunding. We don't know how big the dev team is. We don't know how close the dev team is together to, like, actually work together, or if they're, like, in different parts of whatever country or continent that they're in.
Yep.
It's, and this game is so ambitious, I'll say, that you have to give it some slack and understand that it went into early access because it's playable, sort of.
Got you.
And after day one, when the servers aren't working, and they're actively trying to fix the game. Like, they're actively trying to make it as stable as possible. It's a beta. It's not ready yet, so it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But people are just jumping down these devs' throats, saying they raised all this money and blah, 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 blah. Give it time. It'll be great. Give it time.
That's a downfall.
Yeah. You can't crowdsource games or TV shows or anything like that, because people will jump down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's not good the first fucking second.
Yeah, and this kind of comes to Star Citizen, which, Brandon, we talked about this, because it's actually another crowdfunded game, right? It started back in 2011, as far as back in 2011. That's when the whole thing started. And they've gone up to almost $200 million towards the game. And it's still being made. They released a single player trailer recently that had like Mark Hamill is one of the biggest people I saw there, but there's many other actors in that trailer. Their whole face was generated into the game, so they obviously have a lot of money in this game. And from what I see, at least they kind of care about it until what I'm about to say may scare a lot of people. But about 5 months ago, this is kind of old news, but this part of the disappointment of this year. One of the packs, because I was like, this game is too good to be true. You know, it's supposed to be like a space simulator / like FPS. You know, it's almost like a Second Life, but in space. And that's the type of game that I've always wanted. I'm a big fucking Star Wars fan. I love sci-fi in general, and this game looks so fucking.
I want that shit too.
So real, it looks so good, right? And I was like, all right, this is too good to be true. So I looked into it, and guess what happened? Bad shit.
It's too good to be true.
Yeah. So they had a pack that was worth $27,000 real life money to get pretty much all the ships in the game. Now, I'm I'm okay with microtransactions in games to a certain extent. This type of game, I was like, I want to play Star Citizen the day it comes out and put 8 hours into it and feel like I got somewhere, right? Like, I don't want to play it and grind and feel like, oh, you have to pay to win, basically. You have to pay to progress, pay to get all these ships, because in the time that you're going to be living on this earth, you're never going to reach it. And that's the way they're making it sound. And that's what scares me about. This is not no normal fucking microtransaction or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or a pack. This is $27,000 fucking dollars. That is a damn car right there. What in the like, with how hot media and gaming is right now, they're fucking insane to even put that out there. Oh, and the fucking best part about it is that you have to even get the opportunity to spend the $27,000 if you fucking wanted to. If you're just rich or just didn't give a fuck about money, you have to spend $1,000 to even have access to that damn space, because you have to have like a special membership or some bullshit. There is gonna be people who buy this shit, by the way. I'm sure there is, because some people either don't care about fucking money or they're just fucking rich and they're like, cool, right?
What happens because I have the money and you don't?
Yeah, but what happens to people like us who are normal fucking working citizens? And I'm gonna be fucking honest. I'm gonna be completely honest. If I was fucking really rich, I would never spend that much money on a fucking video game. I'm sorry. I still stay to.
If I had millions of dollars, fuck yeah, I'd fucking spend.
I wouldn't. Money. I would invest in the fucking game, because I'm like, fuck it, why not, right? Like, I'll help the development of the game and get get shit right. I would not invest in a fucking $27,000 fucking pack. What the fuck? I'm sorry. To me, there's a certain line you don't cross, and that is a big major one. I'm sorry, like $27,000 fucking dollars, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of fucking money. I can't. That still hits me to this day. Like, what the fuck?
Remember that, gamers?
And if Adrian was here, he would have probably been having a fucking heart attack. He had a heart attack. He couldn't even finish watching the video about it. He hates microtransactions in games and DLC. Certain DLC. Obviously, because there's certain DLC he's okay with, but he had a heart attack, basically. But yeah, that's one of my biggest disappointments this year, is hearing about that, because the game is ambitious. I'm looking forward to see how it turns out in years from now. Hopefully they turn around and stop that whole bullshit. I don't know. Whenever that game comes out, it'll be godly, I'm hoping. And we'll for sure have a PC by then, even though it's early access now. I'm not gonna buy that. But yeah, that's one of the biggest disappointments. So, with that being said, I think we're closed on that part.
I think we're ready to our last topic, the big gun.
The big gun.
Last podcast, I think last or 2 podcasts ago, me and Jet talked about Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Now, big spoilers. Big spoilers. I cannot stress this enough. If you have not beaten Red Dead Redemption 2,
turn off the podcast.
Please kick out now. Or mute us. Go to the end so we can get the time. Give us that sweet AdSense, even though we don't get ads. Anyways.
You can't say that. You cannot say that if you want to get money on because from AdSense. You can't say that.
Shush, Robert. Anyways, every person in this call has beaten Red Dead. I beat it the other day, twitch.tv/TheDesperado316, where you guys can watch my reaction. Jet has beaten it, and Robert has beaten it. First, I would like to hear Robert's opinions on the ending. Robert, go.
This is just Arthur's. This is just Arthur.
Yeah, we're not talking about Arthur's ending. We're not talking about the epilogue.
Yes.
I liked the way they ended Arthur's story. I thought it was well done. It actually made me tear up a little bit because I actually connected with Arthur as a character.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful ending to a fantastic game, the main story of, and just I loved it. I thought it was excellent. One thing that got me, which I kind of understand why they did it, is that that Arthur doesn't kill Micah. Now, all through the game, after maybe the second or third meeting with Micah, I was like, I want to kill you. You are the biggest jackass I know, and I want to kill you at some point in this game. And to get so close to the end with Arthur to doing it just felt good. Obviously, if you made the right decision. I think we all made the same decision. So, and that was to assist John getting out of there.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So, I like the way that ended. I don't know how it ended.
Now, did you get which ending? Which ending did you get? Because I know there's two endings if you go with John. If your honor is low,
I had the same ending you had.
You got the one.
Okay.
Your honor was high when we ended the game.
Okay.
So and on top of that, you made the decision to help John rather than go back for the money.
Just so everybody knows, if your honor is low, the ending. If your honor is high, the ending ends with Arthur being able to die peacefully on a rock.
Yeah, he comes to terms with his disease, and he's obviously been beaten to within an inch of his life.
As peacefully as he could go, basically.
Yeah.
But if your honor is low, you end up getting shot by Hutch.
Micah.
Oh, by Micah.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said Hutch.
I think you were gonna say Dutch, but even that was wrong. So yeah, Micah.
Yeah, Micah. Yeah, you get shot by Micah. Anything else, Robert? Any what do you think of story missions, things leading up to it?
I liked everything leading up to it. I really did. Personally, I was kind of hoping him and Sandy would, kind of hook up a little bit.
Sadie.
Yes, Sadie.
Yeah.
Sandy Cheeks.
Going right around to the start of the show. You don't mess with people in Texas, and you didn't mess with that woman. She just like Sandy. She's
cool. Is she in Red Dead 1?
No, sadly. No.
And you will find out why in the epilogue.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Oh, she's dead.
She's dead. No, chill.
No. Just a really good ending. I felt they did it right. I felt they ended Arthur's story correctly. Because once he got tuberculosis, you knew he was going to die. You just wanted to know when he was going to die. And then how the game, minor epilogue spoiler, starts with you going into Strawberry as John with Abigail and Lancelot. Minor spoiler.
Lancelot?
Yeah, that's so.
That's what they name because they take pseudonames.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So Jack becomes Lancelot. It's random as all hell. But I really liked it. And then playing through the epilogue, I thought the epilogue was nice. The epilogue really does set up Red Dead Redemption. And there's the final mission of the epilogue, which I'm not going to say much about.
You just didn't like, I remember you saying.
I didn't care for the end mission of the epilogue.
Yeah, I got you.
The wrap-up. Obviously, just like in GTA, where the final mission in the main story is when you get super rich and you get all the money.
Yeah.
The same thing happens here. So if you were strapped for money, you're fine. I would recommend that if you're low on money as Arthur, don't buy an expensive horse because you're going to lose it anyway.
Yeah, dude, your horse dying was fucking sad as shit.
I was so mad because I spent so much money on that horse and so much time bonding with it.
Yeah, I think it's funny. He had the same horse the whole game because he never got the Arabian. So that horse he had at the beginning of the game is the horse he had the whole.
It was the if you had the Ultimate Edition,
I had the Arabian.
It was the horse you would get.
So much to watch the Arabian die. Oh, I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it sucked. I was like, and that's what I liked about Arthur. He you could tell he cared about horses. He loved horses. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you stood there with the horse until it died, which is like a very touching moment. And shortly after that, he died.
And going backwards, actually, before that even happened, the lead up to the final mission, which was
what I like to call,
because you had the big shootout with the Pinkertons at the thing, and then you got chased by. Did you get chased by Dutch, or did you get chased by more Pinkertons? I couldn't remember.
You get chased by more Pinkertons, and then after that is when you have what we call Arthur's last ride. The Arthur's last ride.
No, Arthur's last ride is after Abigail kills the main Pinkerton.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that's when you get chased. That's when you're on the way out of that town and you get chased by Pinkertons.
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about before that happens.
Oh, which one are you talking about?
You're at the hideout. The Pinkertons come when you're having the big standoff and with Dutch and with Micah. And you're saying that Micah is the rat and all this other stuff.
Oh, that mission. No, I got you. You're being chased by Pinkertons and Dutch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Dutch.
You're chased by both. Yeah. I think we've been talking a lot about the ending, but I would also like to talk about towards the beginning and middle. I said this on my stream. I told this to Jed. The first 2 to 3 stories, chapters, I kind of wasn't invested in whatsoever. It wasn't until I met Senor what's his name? What was his name? Anthony Bronte. Yeah. It wasn't until I met Anthony Bronte that I was actually very interested in the game. Just because it was this is a character that I really want to beat the shit out of. And it kind of got me really invested. If you give me a character that I really want to beat the shit out of, I'm going to keep playing the game until beat the shit out.
That's how I felt about Micah, the exact same way. So
yeah, you didn't touch on Micah, Brandon. Did you fucking hate Micah? Because I fucking hated Micah. I think everybody hated Micah.
Yeah, Micah's a fucking
the first mission that you go and get him out of jail.
That's when you go
on that you go on that rampage and he even goes to that home to take his guns back, kill the wife and the husband. I'm like, Jesus, dude, this guy's a fucking dickhead.
Monster.
He has no morals.
Yeah.
I know Wild West is you Arthur for sure. You could have bad honor and kill random people, but Arthur at heart, his character was he had morals. He wouldn't just go out and kill anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, he did it for the game, and I think that's what hit me at the end is when he looks at Dutch and says I can't remember the quote, but he's like
I gave you all
I gave you all I could, and I'm just holy shit, that hurt. You could tell Arthur sacrificed his life for Dutch. He gave and that's what hurt about Dutch betraying him and leaving him behind in that moment with what the fuck was the
Rainfall.
Rainfall. Yeah, leaving him behind in that mission. I'm like, what the fuck, Dutch? This guy's a fucking loyal ass fucking person to you, and you fucking leave him behind.
I don't blame Dutch for that. I blame Micah for that. I think Micah got into his head and started saying shit to Dutch that we didn't say it, but you could tell something was going on there.
Do we know, does it explain in Red Dead 1, why he turns into this?
No, Red Dead 1's about John killing Dutch.
I know, but do we know, why
I think it's because, you see it in this game. I think it's, if you understand Dutch in general, he's he never got, because this is a time where shit was changing, right? Civilization was moving on from the Wild West, and Dutch couldn't fucking, Dutch just couldn't comprehend that, and he still wanted
to go to the next Wild West. That's why he wanted to go to Tahiti or Australia.
Tahiti.
Yeah, and that's basically why, because he, down there was still the Wild West at the time. Like, it was still like really crazy over there.
Speaking of Dutch, we need to start this new meme. Have you guys ever played Sonic 06 or heard of it?
Oh. Yes.
You know the character Silver the Hedgehog.
Yes.
When he constantly says in that game, in the one mission, it's no use. All right, and even the Sonic media pages.
Robert, listen. Robert, listen. There's no use. We need a plan and we need money. That's
it. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to make that into the next.
We need a plan and we need money.
We are I have a plan and we need money. I think that's what it was. He insists.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit! Like that's how you knew.
That's how you knew Dutch was about to snap.
Yeah, but I think so. Back to Dutch and like his downfall. I think it was because like he saw like, and Dutch I think wasn't like all there even at the beginning of the game. I like even when Hosea was still alive, for example, right? Rest in peace, Hosea.
That sucked so much when Hosea died.
And him were the ones who actually created the gang. They were the first two.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like Hosea was like basically like almost like the father figure to the group, and I think had like his say had Dutch under control in a way.
Yeah.
And after Hosea died, it was like, well, there goes the only person that Dutch really paid attention to.
Yeah.
That really did. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, like that's probably when Dutch started going downhill. I think at that moment.
I don't think he ever coped fully with Hosea's death.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So I think he just went somewhat neurotic and kind of insane, and it just kept going and going. And then obviously Micah is one of those
rats.
No, like psychotic people, a sociopath that can just like say stuff, and Dutch was going to believe it because he said
he manipulated Dutch.
Yeah,
and he was a sociopath, and he really didn't truly care about anybody.
No, except himself.
Like I think Dutch, like he knew what he did was wrong. I mean, I wish that one of the satisfaction, like what would have gave me satisfaction in the last moment of Arthur is like if Dutch would have like looked at Micah and when Arthur said like he's a rat, he would just looked at Micah and just fucking shot him in the head. Like I would have got satisfaction from that actually, because at least like there you can see that Dutch at least cared about Arthur, even though I think he did because he was going to say something to him in his last moments. He was saying like,
don't spoil anything, Robert.
I'm not going
to say anything.
I'm not.
Don't try to invertly say anything like this.
He was saying like I, and then like I was just like, damn, like get your words out. I want to hear what you're gonna say. But then like Micah interrupts and is like, come on, Dutch, and I'm just like, fuck, like and then like you could tell he felt bad, but he just walks away, and I'm just like, well, damn.
Well, I mean,
it's a really tragic ending for Arthur in a way.
At that point, what was Dutch going to be able to do? Arthur was dying because of a disease he had.
No, yeah, I know.
Nothing anybody could have done.
It was just more of a dying wish that you could have done. It's like kill Micah. He's a fucking rat. Like that's all I would have wanted. But that's just me. Still a good ending. And it just I'm glad that you could see how he turns out Red Dead Redemption. So. Yeah, that's that on Red Dead single player. I don't think anybody else has anything else to say, right?
20 out of 10.
Oh,
I would give Red Dead 20 out of 10.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
I gave it a 9 out of 10. Big reason I gave it a 9 out of 10 was literally the glitches. I lost a lot of guns, but that's just me.
I some of the glitches were kind of weird. Like, I never had the gun losing glitch. That never happened to me.
Yeah, that happened to me. I was pissed.
I had an incident where I killed a crane, or flamingo, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. And I had it attached to my horse, and I was running along. And as you do, you're running along through a forest or a swamp or something. You casually hit a tree. You just casually run into a tree and fall off.
Of course.
Everybody does it 50 times in a day. It's funny. Haha. Anyway, I go to pick up this bird that I killed, and it glitched out so that the wings were like open, like it was flying, but it was dead. So whenever Arthur would hold it over his shoulder, the rigid wing would like cut through his neck and show out the other side, like his head was cut off because of this wing.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's just one of those stupid glitches. And then when you put it on the horse, it was fine. But the second Arthur got on the horse to try and ride away, it looked like the bird's body was in like Arthur's leg, and the horse's leg. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Not game breaking, just weird, kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rockstar will patch it though because that's what they do.
Dude, I don't even. They haven't updated the game. But anyway, that's besides the point. Red Dead Online.
Oh, the clusterfuck that is. Oh, good lord.
No.
Hot take. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think it's that fun. And I know it's a beta. Everybody keeps defending in the comments. Oh, it's a beta. It's gonna get better. No. All right, here's the thing.
Have those people not played GTA 5 online?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because
I just keep saying
that is true. That is true.
This is a carbon copy of GTA Online with a different currency system. It's absolutely pathetic, grinding.
It's not even that fun.
That's exactly what it is, and this game's going to be the exact same thing as GTA Online is, and it's just gonna suck.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, look, I mean, again, I'm all for microtransactions in the game. That's fine. I know they have to make their money back somehow, especially since at least the fucking DLC is free.
But they made their money back 15 times over from the release.
No. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. But they still have to have extra money for supporting the game for years to come, for keeping the servers going. You know, all that shit it stacks up. That's just how economically how shit works for the gaming industry. And I'm fine with that. But
these microtransactions are just,
and they're not making single players like DLC, right?
Well, we don't. They say that, but I would love for them to make a single player DLC. Like it'd be dope.
I don't think they will, because GTA 5 was supposed to have 2 packs of single player DLCs, at least one that I'm aware of, but I believe 2 that were supposed to add the other 2 islands. Because you know how San Andreas in PS2 was 3 islands.
Yeah.
It was supposed to add at least one of the other 2. Supposedly, it never came because they wanted to focus on GTA Online, which is why they stopped releasing the multiplayer content in the single player. They wanted you to buy the online mode. They wanted you to buy all the shark cards, and they wanted to make your life hell.
That comes to say, you know, like a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's just a beta," you know, back to Red Dead Online. And I'm just like, look, because I had commented on one of the videos, I was like, look, I know it's a beta, but playing GTA Online at first, right? I don't know if you guys remember the first few days we played it, you know, the first few months, even maybe a year. It was a fun game. It was like we were making money. It was a good grind, I think, at the beginning.
Everything was well balanced.
Everything was well balanced. Yeah,
and nothing was bullshit priced. Everything was like reasonable.
I think exactly for modern day. But then
they started adding cars that cost $20 million a piece.
Yeah.
And then they just got more and more expensive. The yachts
and businesses that cost money to fucking get to, like
and the warehouses and the cars.
And the funny thing is though, I invested a lot of time into the game. I had enough to buy a couple of businesses without microtransactions. I had enough to buy a couple of cars and upgrade them without microtransactions. But it got to the point where it just became such a tedious task. It got to the point where you could play 10 hours, sit down for 10 fucking hours
and lose money.
And just get enough to upgrade one fucking car or buy one car, or actually no, not even buy one car because that shit got too expensive. But just upgrade one fucking car.
Well, that's why I stopped playing on console and started playing on PC, because you could download money. I don't have any shame in saying it. They banned my account because
but okay, listen, this is the thing. This is how I see this. And listen, if the game, I would probably be a hypocrite to say this because I did exploit the game back in the day, before the fucking prices changed.
Well, as they were, because I know I was searching YouTube for money glitches and money hacks, like car dupes and shit like that we could do.
And dude, honestly, the first time, like, wasn't even my fault. The first time was because I assassinated a dude, and all of a sudden I got like a fucking $1 billion in my bank account. I'm like, well, can't complain now. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that made the game so much more fun.
Yeah, and again, look, the thing is, what I want from Red Dead Online is that I want it to be a game where, like, yes, you can have microtransactions, yes, you can have those people who pay for them, but make the economy in the game for people that don't want to pay for the microtransactions balanced. You know, like make it like I don't know how they would do it. I don't know if they should add more shit. Again, it's a beta, I know. That will make you make more money, maybe more events, maybe more maybe just more shit that can make you money to balance it out. Because there's so many things right now. Like playing the beta. By the way, the beta story is short. Like I finished it today. I didn't even know I was gonna play the last mission, and it's a total of like 5-6 missions.
Wow, that's pathetic.
It's
beta, so it might get expanded.
Yeah, maybe it is because the way they left it, I'm like, okay, so that's it. Are we done? The fuck? But it wasn't really a cliffhanger. It was just kind of like, okay, this is the ending. Anyways,
we should mention that the Red Dead Online takes place before Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, because you didn't even see characters anyways besides Bonnie Farland, which is Red Dead 1 in the beta. So, anyways, and the side missions. Speaking of side missions, because Bonnie McFarlane is actually a side mission. Those missions aren't even that fucking good. You get $5, $6, $7. I think the max I saw was $8 from a fucking side mission.
Jesus Christ,
Jed, you and I went to do one of those side missions. It triggered, and then the rest of it didn't happen. Like it just threw us back out into the overworld and nothing happened.
I remember that, yeah.
That sucks.
And the thing is, dude, like these side missions are slightly time consuming, and I'm like, all right, I at least expect $10 to $15, maybe a little more, depending on the type of side mission it is. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like $7, really? That's it for all this time? This is why people are like hunting rather than doing these side missions. Like if you hunt in like certain areas, you can stack up enough animal shit to like go sell to a butcher for way more money. After
this podcast is over, that's what we should do, so we can make the $200 to keep our fucking posse, which is another bullshit thing.
Yeah, no, the posse's $200, and then upkeeping it. You have upkeep fees for your stable, your posse, and it's just like holy shit, like what the fuck? And then
you gotta pay to breathe.
See,
you know what they're gonna end up doing. You know how GTA had all these things that you could buy, like we were mentioning earlier, warehouses and shit? You're going to be able, in this game, you're going to be able to buy a stagecoach. At some point, you're going to have to be able to buy a stagecoach.
Oh, of course.
But it's going to cost you like $1,000.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be able to buy a ranch, but it's going to cost you $10,000 to do it. You're going to be able to buy all these shit, like stables and shit like that. It's going to cost you like $50,000 at some point.
That's not historical.
The thing that kills me, is that people were like in the comment section like, "Oh, this is immersive. Like I like struggling to get money." I'm like, motherfucker, did you see the single player? At least the single player was actually more historically accurate because like the prices in the catalogs were way less than the fucking online. Mm-hmm. In the online, that shit is way more.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not making enough money in the online right now.
I will say,
shit up.
They fixed griefing. It is impossible to grief people in this game because after somebody kills you 3 or 4 times, you can go into a passive mode with that specific person for 10 minutes where you can't hurt them and they can't hurt you.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty cool.
So with that being said, dude, like I'm scared for the future of the game. I really want, because I love the good. We spent a lot of time in GTA, even in the years that I think it was starting to get a little bit too much in the part of the game to fucking buy shit. We spent a lot of like time there just to role play shit and do stupid shit. And I wanted Red Dead to be that. But also I want to feel like, again, I'm working towards something in Red Dead. Like I'm having fun working towards something in Red Dead.
I want Red Dead to be that game that we all have.
That we can all have fun in. Because it's
like GTA was.
It's been a while since we had it.
That's what we all thought it was going to be. But
I think it will be that for a while, and then eventually it won't be anymore. Like GTA was, because I've been trying to get you guys. I won't anymore because we have this now. But I was trying to get you guys to come back to GTA because they have done a lot to it. Like there's times where GTA is actually pretty freaking cool if you have people to play with, like the nightclub DLC that they added. That's pretty awesome.
I saw DLC. A big reason that like it wasn't obviously I know we play way more games than I think you, Robert. I think that's like the big reason
You do, probably.
Is like most of the people we played with, like me, Brandon, Eli, like we all got new games and like we all fucking play a fuckload of games now. Like GTA was at a time where I didn't even have a job at first with GTA. Like back in the day, like that was my parents who bought me that, and like now
shout out to Nick. Shout out to Nick.
Shout out to Nick.
Otherwise, this wouldn't have. Well, you guys would have happened, but I would.
So. Yeah, we wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, that's true.
So back to what I was saying. So like now that we're we have jobs and we can pay for our own shit. Like now we have access to more games. I think not to say that we wouldn't have spent that much time on GTA if we had jobs back then.
Quote, I feel like don't have a mortgage to pay and other bills that you lose your entire paycheck to.
Yes. Now that we have jobs, I feel like we had access to more games. And like it's just like we play so many fucking games a year, pretty much. And again, I'm willing to invest in a game. Not that we don't invest in a game today. Like, I mean, me and Brandon played Overwatch for a while, constantly. But I feel like
never do that. I cannot play shooters with a controller. I just can't do it.
I love that.
I'm much better on PC with a FPS, but I'm not great at that either.
Yeah, but I honestly feel like Red Dead Online would just be great if they just fucking fixed the economy and added more content into the game.
Here's another thing that would be good. Put it on PC. Put Red Dead Redemption 2 honestly,
give it let next gen happen. Give it a year into next generation's consoles. Guarantee you it's coming to PC. That shit is gonna happen for sure. I think it's gonna happen. There's no way that they're fucking.
And you know what? Release the first game again. Release Red Dead Redemption again as a DLC to this, because half the map for Red Dead Redemption is already in this. You just need to add Mexico. So put it in with the updated graphics so people could play Red Dead Redemption after they're done with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yep. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Red Dead Online.
I don't have that much opinions on it just because I only did like one mission.
Do it tonight, right after the podcast is done. Maybe.
Alright guys, this has been the Blaze podcast on the Blaze Production.
Before we go,
also on SoundCloud.
Before we go,
go for it, Robert.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention that former President George Herbert Walker Bush passed away today at the age of 94.
God damn, 94.
He lived a long life.
He was one of the greatest presidents. I don't know. That's in the eye of the beholder as well. But in my opinion, one of the best presidents this country ever had. Even though he only served one term as president, he was a World War II veteran. Obviously, the father of both Jeb and George W. Bush, who are not very well liked amongst their constituents, but whatever. He was a very good president and a very good man, donating many, many to people during the disasters of Katrina and the tsunami that struck
Come on, you got this, Robert.
In Sumatra, that's it. Like those areas that were affected by that tsunami, I believe in 2004. Excuse me. So thank you for everything, President Bush. You will be missed, and you had a great life.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Thank you anybody who came. No.
You're good. Go ahead.
I think anybody who came through who's been able to last this long. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, Blaze Production. Follow us on SoundCloud.
Where you only have the episode 4 up. Still.
Hey, I work a lot. All right, it's a lot of hard work. Don't worry. I have Mondays off. Mondays in the morning off now, so like the podcast is gonna be. Things are changing. So Blaze Production on YouTube, SoundCloud, Anchor. All links are gonna be down in the description below. Make sure to follow us too on YouTube. Hit that bell so you can get a notification. Episodes I know have been scattered a little bit. We're not sure what we're gonna be doing. Either like a week, every week, 2 weeks, stuff like that.
It's more of like
probably what we're
Yeah, hold up. It's more of like we go with the flow. Like if we have enough, like if something if enough crazy things come in 1 week, we may shoot for weekly. But if we don't have enough content and we just kind of think like, yeah, maybe we should wait. Like we have a couple of things, but maybe we should wait 2 weeks, and we'll wait the 2 weeks, kind of like how we did. So, yeah. Go ahead.
And what we're gonna try to do is that I'm gonna try to, from my Twitch clips, we usually have like long conversations. So if we don't have a podcast up, I might just have to post something like that, which I don't think anybody will really mind. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification. Also follow me on Twitter at, I believe it's Desperado316. Stay up to date because I know the sub boxes are broken. Thank you, everybody. This has been episode 5 of the Blaze podcast, where our conversations and topics are always fire. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.